Dawn in Munnar glimmered through the yellow guesthouse walls as SlumG, hat poised and optimism fully caffeinated, hunched over his streaming rig in a tangle of cables and ambition. The mist outside promised adventure. The scent of wet tea leaves beckoned, and chat rallied behind him with, "Pull up, gang," and a volley of half-sincere wishes for digestive disaster. In those first golden rays, he felt invincible. Egg on toast naïveté in a backpacker's body, enchanted by the rolling tea hills and the slow, sleepy bustle that seemed to hush any thought of peril. Even Blechtenzer, lurking nearby with his GoPro and a faint air of doom, seemed far less menacing under sunrise. Overkill Master, Ersait's shouts from the juice stand and the distant promise of rest or your life will never achieve maximum achievement, bro, sounded more like motivational slogans than warnings. Hungry for real adventure, and blissfully unaware that paradise always comes with a warning label, SlumG set off toward the first cup of local tea, believing himself ready for anything the day and chat might dare him to swallow. The first sip of chai at the roadside stall was a warm, honeyed comfort, the kind that tricks a tourist into believing all is well in paradise. A dangerous illusion, as SlumG would soon learn. With every swallow, the market's chorus grew bolder. Blechtenzer hovered at his elbow, muttering about pathogens as he catalogued SlumG's hygiene fails, while Overkill Master 988 barked, "Drink up. Maximum achievement only comes to those who dare." As if the elixir might power wash away all common sense. Digestive materialized with a suspiciously cracked snack packet, warning that past daredevils still haven't stopped running, and the chat, fueled by caffeine and mischief, began their incantation of, "Enjoy your diarrhea tomorrow," and "Taste like his dirty t-shirt," "In Kyosen Kunjwogs." Each comment was another nudge toward recklessness, the line between awe and idiocy blurring as SlumG, still flush with tourist optimism, weighed the thrill of chat's approval against the faint rumble in his gut, a distant, foreboding drumbeat. By the time he reached for the next snack, he was already slipping, one dare deeper into the spiral, the innocence of that first sweet chai dissolving into a cocktail of peer pressure and mounting peril. A hush fell as chat, led by user 38116 and Hardtack, unleashed the next dare with gleeful menace. One massive green chili, no drink for 5 minutes, and the promise of streamer glory, or digestive disaster. Glee TV, timer in hand, recounted tales of past victims with relish. "He's still running, I swear." While Overkill Master 188 pumped his fist, shouting, "Maximum achievement, bro," his voice nearly drowning out Blechtenzer's muttered calculations about capsaicin toxicity and irreversible mucosal trauma. As SlumG weighed the gauntlet, a flicker of doubt crossed his face, a memory of last year's Bangkok street food fiasco, a flash of the clinic waiting room, the chat's, "Enjoy your diarrhea tomorrow," suddenly less of a joke, but the lure of bits, the chant of "Be a man, eat," and the siren call of streamer clout left him little choice. He accepted, broadcasting his bravado with a shaky grin, while his stomach whispered a queasy warning. As he bit down, the world shrank to the crunch of the chili, the rising fire in his throat, and the knowledge that the spiral had opened. No turning back, only escalation, and the sick realization that paradise sometimes tasted like regret. The second the chili's skin split beneath his teeth, SlumG felt time slow. A searing green wave rising from tongue to nostril, eyes watering, sweat prickling his scalp beneath the straw hat. The market's din faded to a feverish hum as Blechtenzer's health lecture and Overkill Master 88's boom boom machine mantra battled in his mind, one warning of permanent esophageal scarring, the other promising eternal influencer glory if he held out just a few minutes longer. Glitvi's cracked phone timer loomed over the proceedings like a doomsday clock, each tick amplifying the inferno burning through SlumG's mouth and gut, making him wonder if this was the moment paradise turned biohazard. Outwardly, he mugged for the camera, a man on the verge of legend, while inside, regret and terror collided in a montage of past diarrhea tomorrow jokes and the memory of that Bangkok ER drip. As the crowd counted down and the pharmacist at Grace Tea and Spices shook his head in mute, knowing pity, SlumG realized he wasn't just eating for content, he was staring down the sharp, satirical edge of food tourism's darkest hour, his own medical thriller unfolding live, bite by agonizing bite, 5 minutes never felt so long, or so public. With each tick of Gleetvi's timer, SlumG's mouth transformed from mere battleground to active war zone, sweat dotting his brow, vision shimmering as the chili's fire drilled into his gut. The chat's voices jabbed through the haze, one chorus mocking, "Enjoy your diarrhea tomorrow." Another volleying fevered remedies. Death by fire. Gaming barking orders for bread. Tay's mom waving her napkin and extolling the cardiovascular virtues of suffering, while Blechtenzer hovered, clipboard at the ready, openly calculating how many milliliters of water SlumG would lose to capsaicin-induced drooling. Overkill Master 288, never missing a chance, bellowed, "Maximum achievement, bro. Don't die. Just rest after," as the paramedic cousin circled with a packet of emergency curd and a look of theatrical concern. Stomach clenching, he locked eyes with the market pharmacist, who held out a bottle of herbal tonic and mimed a prayer, and for a split second SlumG wondered if this was content or a live transmission of his own gastrointestinal obituary. He could taste not just the chili, but the satirical bite of his own ambition. Was this bravery, idiocy, or just tourism's oldest, queasiest dare in a new digital skin? The aftermath unfolded as a queasy, feverish blur. SlumG staggered from Bisme traders straight into a gauntlet of local remedies, each more suspect than the last. At the first stall, Death by Fire Gaming intercepted him with a hunk of plain bread, insisting, loud enough for everyone to hear, that it was the only scientifically proven cure, while LoftCon swooped in behind, muttering about exclusions in unregulated capsaicin coverage. SlumG's insides felt like a small firelit festival, every swallow sparking new symptoms, nausea, ice-cold sweat, a gnawing panic that he'd just streamed his way into a biohazard incident. Fijiduzit at Grace Tea and Spices offered a calm, measured dose of herbal stomach tonic. "Sip, don't gulp," he whispered. But Blechtenzer loomed at his elbow, clipboard out, warning that mixing unknown tonics with energy elixir was a statistical death wish. Vendors hawked buttermilk with the zeal of snake oil salesmen, and the chat, sobered by SlumG's pallor and a sudden stream of medical speculation, oscillated between laughter, guilt, and crowdsourced diagnosis, dehydration, capsaicin shock, or just influencer hubris. Even welcome to welcome. The plate collector pressed a clean napkin and a gentle, "Be careful, sir," into his hand, as if prepping him for either a second course or a swift transfer to the local clinic. For a moment, as he weighed yet another mystery tonic against his rumbling stomach, the funhouse mirror of food tourism twisted into something sharper. Here, bravado and peer pressure didn't just burn. They lingered, they sickened, and they left one quietly calculating if the next dare would be his last. Night had settled like a damp compress over the hills, and SlumG, moving gingerly between buffet trays, found himself at a low ebb, gastric aftershocks rumbling beneath the quietly clinking plates. Objeft, world-weary pharmacist, drifted by with a bottle of herbal digestive syrup, pausing just long enough to murmur, "Next time, remember, chili is not a visa for adventure," before vanishing in a swirl of medicinal bitterness. Welcome to welcome, ever the gentle plate collector, set down a fresh napkin with a conspiratorial nod. "You're not the first, sir, and you won't be the last." While the chat, newly chastened, volleyed between sympathy and fresh dares. Tomorrow, fermented fish, yes. Outside on a mist-washed night stroll, SlumG's bravado flickered in the street lamp's glow, uneven and introspective. The absurdity of chasing views through digestive roulette pressed in on him, equal parts regret and adrenaline. As the distant neon Grace Tea and Spices winked through the fog, he realized the cycle had already begun to reset. Somewhere in the dark, a new dare was ripening, and he, stomach still wincing, couldn't decide if he was the patient, the test subject, or simply the punchline of paradise.